Hey everybody, what up? What's up? Good morning. 7:59. Good to see you. It's your friend James Shaw. Thanks for being here so much. We're going to be in a book we haven't been in before. It is called Hello Fears by Michelle Poler. Now, you're going to get to know Michelle Poler if you're coming to Indianapolis for Elevate in April. She went out and pursued 100 things that scared her in 100 days and put together those lessons in this book and has a keynote that is off the charts awesome. I'm excited that she's going to be with us at Elevate in Indy. We're going to jump in her book a little bit, but before we do that, a couple of Tell Me Something Goods. Janet, good morning.
Hey, good morning from sunny Daytona Beach shores. Thank you, James. In the pre-show, we were talking about how to handle a property, a listing that is in a gated community, or you're not allowed signs. There's challenges. Well, I'm excited because today we are videoing this fabulous vacant land in a small gated community, and it's 21 acres with 1,000 feet on the lake. And when I went to see that land, I immediately knew I needed video of the seller dropping a line from a kayak and then panning around. I'm so excited about being a director today for the video that's going to get this property sold. And we're going to have an open house where there's a couple of us agents who understand the property will be available on a Saturday to take people through. And I love our community for thinking outside of the box. It
Right.
certainly inspired.
Oops, Janet, I muted you by mistake
Oh,
instead of Cheryl. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Keep going, Janet.
Okay. I don't know how much you heard, but
We
I'm
heard
just
almost all of
excited.
it. Keep going.
Thank you. I'll let you know when it's sold.
We're proud of you. Thank you so much. Paul, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Over the last couple of days, I've had some really amazing conversations with a few different individuals, and it truly has just made me realize that we are so much stronger together than alone. And I just wanted to say that I finally listened to you, Auntie Donna, Mama McCall, Bree, Jess Baker, and if you take a look at your roster, I just joined Inspire.
I saw it come across, Paul. I'm so proud of you. Congratulations and welcome. We are glad you're here. Z, good morning.
good morning. I just wanted to actually commend you and Emily because after the call yesterday, I literally called her and I was basically in tears. And it's just that's what she went over yesterday. That's what my business needed from the beginning. And the hesitation of not making certain calls is because I can get it. However, the follow up was so weak that I'm, like, okay, why make the call, waste the time? So I just want to say thank you so very much. And I thank Emily for even saying, agreeing to do all of that and just giving her entire playbook to us. And I thank you. Thank you.
Emily Peckham's session yesterday was so good. I called her right after and was like, "Friend, you've got it figured out." She gave you step by step by step by step. Yesterday was she's doing her FSBO fortune course because she listed 140 FSBOs in 4 years, and she gave her follow-up plan step by step. Like day one, send this. Day two, do this. It was 30-day follow-up plan. She has one follow-up plan for a really motivated FSBO versus a kind of motivated FSBO, two different plans, exactly what to do, exactly what to send, exactly what to say. Then she went into her pre-listing piece. So her pre-listing questionnaire that she goes through that would work for any listing. Next week she's doing the listing presentation that she does. The value people are getting Z in that is off the charts. And you can still get in if you join it. You get access to the recordings and all the downloads and all the tools and all the stuff. And then there's the one more call next week. So FSBOfortune.com if that's something you think would be of value to you. Thank you, Z. Good to see you on that call and being so engaged too in the chat and so helpful answering questions. So I had the chance about a year ago to meet somebody named Michelle Poler. I would recommend you follow her on the Instagram. Hello Fears is her English account, and then Michelle Poler is her Spanish account. She's from Venezuela. And so Spanish speakers will have our first Spanish speaking keynote at Elevate this year, which I'm very excited about. But she wrote this book called Hello Fears because she was doing something for it was for her degree, and she decided she needed to go pursue 100 things that scared her in 100 days. And the way she started this was she kind of figured out, well, what she went and figured out the things that scare her and why do they scare her. And she came up with these 7 reasons that we have fear. Here's what she said the 7 are. Pain. This is her list, by the way. Your list may be different, but her list is pain, danger, embarrassment, rejection, loneliness, control, and disgust. So she found the fears that she had fit in one of those 7 categories. And then in 100 days, she pursued them. She jumped out of an airplane. She held a tarantula. She ate some sort of really hot pepper. I mean, she did all these different things over 100 days. And the book is the lessons that she learned from that. But I went and looked at it, and I thought, we've got a lot of people that have some fear right now in the industry. There's some uncertainty ahead. Things are going to look a little bit different. Plus, you've got whatever fears you brought with you anyway. So how do we overcome them? How do we move forward? Here's some stuff she says about fear. She says, the truth is that the main reason we fear something we haven't tried before is because we don't know what the outcome will be like. Now, that's true all the time. For example, we talk all the time about doing buyer consultations. And people are, I don't want to do them. I don't need to know. Well, you haven't done them before. That's why we've got this fear about doing it. So that's what she says. It usually comes because we don't know what the outcome will be. She goes on and says, our comfort zone expands as we face our fears, and it contracts as we limit ourselves. So as we face our fears, our comfort zone expands. When we don't face them, it contracts, and we end up limiting ourselves. The problem is that our ignorance is feeding our fears by the minute. And that the only way we'll know if we like something or don't like something is by doing it. She says, but in order to change our perspective on fear and allow other emotions to jump in, we must embrace the unknown. She says, though, that what scares us the most about the unknown is not being in control. And we've got to have a willingness to let go of control and move to some different emotions. She said, let's replace pain, danger, embarrassment, rejection, loneliness, control, and disgust with instead excitement, connection, surprise, trust, curiosity, freedom, and vulnerability. So I talk about overcoming fears today. And by the way, if you're coming to Indy, I think she's gonna be our 11 o'clock on the first day, and she will knock it out of the park for you. It's gonna be unbelievable. Let's talk a little bit about fears. I'm gonna do people we didn't get on the pre-show, and then I'll come back. So Amy, you're up first. Good morning.
Good morning. I am coming to Elevate. This is my second in-person event with you. Well, actually the third, but anyway. I'm super excited for her because I grew up very sheltered, and as I listen to her story, I feel very much in tune with her. So I have a lot of the things, the overwhelm, the anxiety, and all of that. So I'm super excited to see her.
Yeah, well, I'm excited you're going to be there too. Kathy, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for letting me share. I actually have 2 things that I wanted to share. So I would say in my corporate life, as an example, I had an opportunity to go and work for a company, and it was a job I didn't even really understand what the job was, but the intrigue of it was greater than the fear of it. And I decided to lean into it, and it ended up with
I
a
had to add oil
24-year career.
because my oil was way down. I
One
added too much.
One second. Keep going. Go ahead.
So I think leaning in, when you, kind of facing that fear and leaning in, what I have found over time in life is that there's usually something amazing on the other side. The second thing that I want to do is talk about, just for 2 seconds, something that just currently I've experienced. And this week has been a very big week of growth. I'm working with a seller on a listing, and they asked me to do a couple of different things, one related to commission, and negotiating commission with them, and one dealing with exceptions. And in both cases, I really took a little time to think about it thoughtfully and say, how am I going to feel? If I agree to what they want me to do, how am I going to feel? Am I going to feel good about taking this list? And I decide in both cases that no, that was below my standard. And what I actually realized yesterday is that I separated the emotion out of the outcome. And I decided, and in fact said to them at one point, if this is what you want, then I'm not the right listing agent for you. And paperwork is signed and open house on Saturday. So I felt really proud of myself for standing my ground. And even though I was shaking inside.
That's great share, Kathy. Thank you so much. Brittany, good morning. Brittany?
I promise you the mute button is the hardest button to find in the morning. I'm so sorry. Good morning. So I love working with new agents to help them break their fear because I knew how that felt. And yes, I'm going to signal that right now. I knew how that felt when I started. So helping them break out of their fears helps me break out of my fears, which helps me. Like, you guys have helped me build confidence so much that I'm doing things that I'm like, man, like 2 years ago, I was petrified and like shaking before I did this. And now I'm like, let's go. Like, I'm all in, like, let's do this. And then I told an agent yesterday that was working with me, I'm like, listen, I will hold your hand and as long as you need me to, but I'm also going to give you the confidence and help you have that like little nudge to like, go fly, baby bird, you know, because like we need that. So like, I love that we're talking about this because we need to not get over the fear, but like work through the fear and like run with the fear, not away from the fear, you know?
No doubt. Thank you so much. Donna Gilbert, good morning.
Good morning. You know, I love what Kathy just said. She said the intrigue of it was greater than the fear of it. And once you get to that point, you can actually do just about anything. When you get through the fear, the freedom that exists on the other side is so magical if you'll allow yourself to get there. It really is. I've always been a risk taker. I've always been a let's do it. I've always been what's the worst that could happen and what's the best that can happen. If you can somehow, you know, if you don't have that in you, we always say borrow somebody else's courage. I'm happy to be your wing woman. You know, all you need is somebody that says, yeah, let's do it. Find that person and then you'll break through it and then you'll be that person for somebody else.
No doubt, Donna. Thank you. Q, good morning.
Good morning, James. Thanks for letting me share. So we all heard the acronym FEAR, fear, false evidence appearing real. So face everything and rise, right? It's just like even every time I get to speak, right? You get the nerves, you feel the jitters. Like anytime you're taking a risk, you're gonna ride a roller coaster. How many of us ride roller coasters and like right when you get to the top or you get close to the top, you're like, oh my God, I can't do this, I can't do this. Then you get on a ride and it's like, oh my God, no. But you do it anyway, right? So, and it's so amazing because most of us have children or we have siblings. And a lot of the time we tell the kids or we tell everyone else that we're looking to support, like, just do it. I know you're afraid, but it's not going to hurt you. You know, what doesn't kill you make you stronger. And yet it's kind of like when it comes to us, we don't take our own advice, right? And even think when we are working with clients and we're asking them to hire us as a buyer's agent or a seller's agent, we're expecting them to trust us fully, completely, and 100%. It's a fear for them, yet they still do it. So it's like we just got to get out of our own heads, get out of our own way, and just pack it up and take it with you. Close your eyes and just do it. Sometimes you literally just have to just jump in and just do it anyway. Feel the fear and then feel the exhilaration from actually operating within that fear and overcoming it.
Q, that's a great share. Thank you so much. Curtis, you're next. Good morning.
Good morning, James. Good morning, everybody. Donna Gilbert took everything that I was going to say, to be honest. Donna just nailed it when it comes to fear. I mean, honestly, I used to be a person, I didn't fear anything. But I'll tell you, the loss of my parents was, I guess, one of the greatest fears. And after losing them, you know, it's, you know, like she said about going on the other side of it. And the other side of it is glory. And I'm telling you, it just, when you have faith, there is no room for fear. When you have faith, there's no room for fear. And I just watched that little special that went ABC with Regina King. and where she said grief is love that has no place to go. And I thought that was so powerful. And it's just like you got to overcome your fears. You got to let things go, and you got to continue to push forward, and don't let anything stop you.
Thanks, Curtis. Appreciate it. That's a great share. Maria Johnson, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity. I don't speak much, but just thinking about this made me scared, but I'm doing it now and I feel fine. So you got to just do what you fear. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. You just overcame one of them today. Proud of you. Good job. Natisha, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, James, again for allowing me to speak. You know, when you think of fear, people think that fear, there has to be an absence of fear. But I don't know if we have any Game of Thrones people out there, but there was a statement that's when a son asked, can a man still be brave if he's afraid? And the father replied, that is the only time a man can be brave. So a person who is courageous and strong and fearless or brave, you're only that way because there was some fear and you moved in the midst of it. So it's not in the sense of it has to be absent, because I want us to welcome the fear, because that is when our courage, our faith, and our bravery shows up.
That is a great share right there. Frank, you get to follow her.
Thank you, James. It occurred to me one day when I was sitting around that the answer to all this stuff is really to go back to toddler days. Because if we think about toddlers, they have no fears. Fear is not a word that they know. They just go ahead and do and act. And that's what we need to do.
Take action. Thank you. Earl Brayboy, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for letting me share. I think my greatest fear was the fear of not knowing. And what I mean by that is not knowing the subject matter. When you know the subject matter, you get braver. I was, in my previous career, I worked with commanding generals that I had to brief all the way down to the lowest level. And I would be petrified if I stood in front of them. Well, I compared that to real estate. I learned everything in the books, but the hands-on was what I needed to know. And thankfully, this call educated me so much that I began a slogan for myself, do it scared. So that's what I do.
Well, what advice would you give to somebody that needs that push?
To do it scared and to continuously learn. So getting on calls like this and actually experiencing it, just go ahead and do it scared.
Proud of you. Thank you. That's a great share. Sharon Griffin, you get the last word this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, James. Thanks for allowing me to share. I've been on this call for 2 years and I do walk in fear, but you know what I've learned to realize is to do it anyway. To do it anyway, in spite of what the opposition is, you just don't know what's behind it. So you have to kind of step out of the boat, get on the water, and if you sink, get up and keep on moving. But one thing Stephen Furtick says, he says, fear is faith in a wrong what if. So what if? What's going to happen? Thank you for allowing me to share.
Thank you for sharing. Great stuff today. We all got stuff we're scared about. This is why I'm bringing her in to Elevate, because I think she's going to help push us through some of the things that hold us back. When you hear about some of the things she did over those 100 days, and if we can just embrace that emotion, right? We're all going to have fears and anxiety and stressors, and yet if we can embrace that and move forward in those things, see opportunity ahead of us, I think we're better off. Thank you for choosing to start here today. I appreciate it. We'll get the recording posted soon, so if you want to go back and watch it, you can. Be well. You got your inspiration. Go put in the perspiration. We'll see you Friday. Bye, everybody.
So long, guys.
Great day.